A lot of English learners really struggle to understand native English speakers when they're in the middle of a conversation. A lot of learners will say they speak too fast. Well, today we're going to check to see how well you can understand a native English speaker in the middle of a conversation. In this video, I have one of my friends, Lawson, who is a creator here in Japan. He creates content on social media, and we're going to be talking about his journey to Japan and what it's like being a creator here. In this video, he speaks quite fast at certain moments. We are really in the middle of a natural conversation, so I want to see how much you can understand. If you do have trouble, there are subtitles on the screen that will help you. But if you really want to test yourself, try not to look at the screen and see how much you can understand with just the audio. There are going to be a lot of vocabulary that you might not know, but don't worry, there will be a lot of points popping up on the screen to help you along the way. Let's get into it. Do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is Lawson. I'm from London, the UK.
We did this already.
Yeah.
So you were saying earlier you've been in Japan for nearly 10 years.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So why did you come here in the first place?
First time I came, so I was studying Japanese at university. Well, I studied from high school, and then at university I had a chance to come out for a very short study abroad, 4 months. So and that was the first time that I really came. I also came in high school for 2 weeks, but that doesn't really count. But
okay.
Yeah, it was just a mini study abroad homestay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you know Japanese before coming?
So I studied in high school for a few years, so I could do bits and bobs, but not, I wasn't walking out being like, yeah, bruh, come on, come at me with the Nihongo, it wasn't, I still had a lot of room for improvement.
Sure. Okay, and what do you do here? Or what did you do at the beginning, and then what do you do now is probably better?
So I came here this time working in a Japanese company, still technically working in the Japanese company, but I also, now I'm a creator on the side. An influencer. I influence people.
Try to.
Yeah. To do the right things and laugh.
To laugh. It's the key thing
to laugh.
for you,
To influence people to make their lives better.
So in your case, it's kind of interesting because for me, obviously I'm English and I use English as a creator, but for you, you do everything in your second language. So how did that begin? Was it a case of you wanted to practice your Japanese, or?
So it first began when I was on my first study abroad. Yeah. So in 2010, it was just after the big earthquake, Higashi Nihon, so just after that. So I came out, was it after that? Yeah, I think it was. So, no, it wasn't actually, it was a bit after that. So when I was on my first year abroad, so there's a few years after I first came out here, back then it was like 2012, 2013, and back then, Instagram had just been released.
Okay.
YouTube was the main thing.
Sure.
TikTok didn't exist. Facebook was still just, you click like and post on.
People were posting
on walls and stuff.
Yeah.
So YouTube was, social media was, social media was YouTube. And I remember back then, I didn't really have, I was an exchange student. I was had nothing to do. I was literally just learning Japanese and drinking. And then someone said to me, "You're quite funny." And I was like, I agree. And they're like, why don't you do YouTube? You should do YouTube. You should make a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And then back in the day, like 2013, there wasn't really many Japanese I say Japanese YouTubers. There wasn't many YouTubers who were foreigners doing Japanese content in Japan.
Was it born in Japan then or not?
He was there, but he still wasn't.
He just done, because I remember watching him because it's about the same time I was looking more at the content.
Yeah.
He made literally 2 videos.
Yeah.
When I started watching.
Yeah. So he was. So I think he was one of the front runners. Yeah. And I was like, that's a good idea. So I started then.
Yeah.
So I was like, 23, 24. No, it must be like 22. And it's really funny because I had like a Samsung Galaxy S3.
Okay.
And if you look at my first videos, it's really funny because I never edited. No edit. Complete no edit, like literal. So and also I'd use the back camera, I wouldn't use the front camera on my phone. So I used to basically get my laptop out, and then I used to put a book on.
You're in the corner here. So.
Yeah, I used to get my laptop out, and then I'd put a book against the screen, and then I'd put my camera, I'd click go, I'd click record, and then I'd put it down, and then you'd see me at first, I'm like, and I'm like, Lawson this, and then and then at the end you also see me grab the camera to stop it. Such great skill. So I first started with doing stuff like cultural stuff, so differences between British culture and Japanese culture. just because at the time it was my first time kind of living abroad for a long time.
Yeah.
I was also living on my own. It wasn't a homestay at that time. So there's lots of the cultural differences I was experiencing. So it was kind of partly to use Japanese, and also I wanted to be niche.
Okay.
Because I mean, if I was going to speak in English, then it would have. There was lots. I mean, YouTube was mainly English at the time, so I was like, let's do it in Japanese. That'll be different. And that's how I originally started. That was the birth of me.
The birth.
The birth of me. The beginning.
Okay, so that's a long time, yeah?
Yeah, no, so then after that, I did it for like, so when I finished that, I went back, I had my final year at uni. So I was really busy. So I kind of like stopped for a bit. And then I took a bit, I had like 6 months off after finishing uni, just chilling. Sabbatical. Oh, I need to put that on my CV rather than like saying sweet FA. And then I joined my company. So a very, very Japanese company. So then I just had no time to really do videos. So I kind of took 3, 4, maybe 5 years off.
Sure.
And then, just before COVID, I was in a point of my life where I was like, I need a hobby. So it got to the point. Yeah, so it got to the point where like, I don't know why I thought that. So it was just before COVID came.
It's weird, isn't it? As you get older, you think, I must have a hobby now.
Well, at the time.
When we're younger, we don't think like that though.
Yeah, so at the time, I just got married. Didn't have any kids yet, and I was working quite a bit actually, so I spent a lot of time at work doing some overtime and stuff, and then drinks with like colleagues or clients and stuff, and then I was like, I'm kind of just, working and drinking, and then spending time with my wife. I was like, I need to kind of have a plus alpha.
Yeah.
If I die right now, it'd be a bit lame, I need to have
You were planning for that already.
Yeah, I was like,
you got in trouble with some bad people.
No. I was like, I need to have something. So first thing I did, I started making a blog.
In Japanese.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna make the next Reddit. No, that was way too big of an idea. And then that just didn't really. I was like, it's a bit boring. I was like, do you know what? Maybe I should start doing my videos again. So I started doing my videos again, and then COVID struck, which is it. In hindsight, it was really good for me because then I was like working from home all the time. So even if I worked 8 to 6, I mean, my wife was pregnant, but baby wasn't born just yet, so I still had some free time. I had like 6 p.m. to like 12 p.m. or 12 a.m. just to bang out videos. So when I started making up brought my channel back to life, and I had like, I don't know, something silly like 500 subscribers. From like 6 years before that.
Sure.
From like one video. And then, so I was like, I need to kind of maybe make my new niche. So I changed it. And I don't know if you know this, what I did when I came back first was I was commenting on news from the point of view of a foreigner.
Japanese news?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was a very bad mistake.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So I was doing things like, what's one of the examples? Like,
yeah, give me one way not so many people are going to get angry in the comments.
No, so I don't regret the decision. It just wasn't a wise decision ever. But things like, for example, if there was something in the news about foreigners, or something about
you made sure.
Yeah, or about like something which is maybe racism against foreigners, I'd make a video about it where I'd like bring up the like article on my page and I'd scroll through and be like, yeah, I don't think this is correct.
I think that was a time when like one of the politicians in Osaka or something was like said something about foreigners as well. So
I think I probably made a video about that.
Yeah.
There's like things like that.
So I remember seeing that and thinking that's so stupid, and then someone commented on it on TikTok about it.
Yeah.
And then it went boof.
Yeah. There's things like that. So just like, and then also just things like there'll be like something in the news about like, some crazy thing happened.
Some people were blaming COVID on foreigners and stuff.
Oh yes, I made vids about that as well. Yeah. So I started doing that. I also did do a COVID series as well. Like every day, being like, there's 7 more people in Tokyo who have COVID. What are we gonna do in English? That also was like not the most successful idea. So I did that, and then I stopped doing my news commentary.
Yeah.
And that's partly why it's because I started getting like, not trolls, but like the people who are just, Japanese internet. There's like a sector of people who just will like stalk your stuff and
comment on every single post.
Post really abusive stuff. So I started getting lots of like abusive comments. Being like, why do you have to listen to a foreigner? Go home. Or like, what does your opinion matter? And all this. And then like, at first I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's a bit saucy. And
You don't expect it as well,
No,
because everyone in Japan's so nice.
No.
So,
And then it's just things like that. Like my
It's a shock.
videos would get, I mean, I say they get like 10,000 views at best. For me, at the time, I was like, oh my God,
great,
I'm going
yeah.
viral. But then it's like, I'd get 100 comments being like, die. And I'm like, oh, like the first 20 comments, I was like, oh, I can deal with this, I can deal with it. And then like afterwards, I was like, oh, this is actually quite negative. This isn't a... So then I stopped doing that because I kind of like, it got to the point where like, I was literally just on many social media platforms, people just give me lots of like unnecessary hassle. And just like comments and stuff. And also because I only had like, 1,000 subscribers, 2,000 subscribers, like obviously you have no power or backing. And I was like, I kind of thought about it, I was like, do you know what, when you put this down on the table, it's very negative. Even if, I'm not saying anything negative, I'm just giving my opinion as a different perspective, to kind of open up everyone's view, like this is what an English person thinks about this scenario. I was like, I don't think the public want that. I was like, I don't think anyone wants
regardless of your opinion of the comments, you have to, if you want to be a creator or a business owner of any type, you have to think about your product is not the most important thing. It's what people think about your product, isn't it? So
exactly. So I was like, do you know what? I don't think this is working.
Yeah, sure.
So I stopped it. I was like, I'm not going to do that, and I privated all of the videos. And then I made one video. What was it? I can't remember which one was kicked off, but I was like, you know what? I want to do fun stuff. Because then we're like year one COVID, right? COVID was getting really depressing in the sense that it's like, this is going to be a long-term thing, right? This isn't, I was like, oh, I'm just going to go away next week. I want to go back on holiday.
Sure.
But it wasn't going to happen. So I was like, okay. So then it was all like, lockdown, well, not real lockdown, but Japan lockdown.
Remote work lockdown.
Remote work and not seeing people, Uber's not really working and all that. So then I started doing reactions to videos. Yeah. So I started doing reactions to very old school Japanese manzai or like comedies. And I found it fun just because I was like having fun, just laughing at the things. And it was way more like light-hearted and everyone was happy. I mean, some people comment being like, that's so funny that a foreigner could like understand the humor. Sure. And same though as a Japanese person can, like, oh my God, like, thank you so much. I was like, oh, someone says I'm nice. maybe this is the solution.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah, then I started doing stuff like that. But then like with reaction videos as well, I don't know, I'm kind of like mixed about what I think about it because sometimes it's like, I don't think it's like necessarily the best type of content. I need to be more original stuff. So I started making more original stuff as well. And that's when I moved to TikTok.
Sure.
And I started like, so in TikTok you can actually just react to videos, right? You can do reaction.
Yeah, Stitch or whatever.
Yeah, Stitch, yeah. And that's completely like okay. So I did like things like that and that started getting a bit popular. And then I started making my own things where I'd use like green screen and like comment on memes and like react to memes and stuff like that in Japanese. And then that went really viral. And that became my new thing as well. And then I brought that over to like Instagram and YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels. And then now I'm kind of like the funny guy.
Yeah, well there we go.
I shouldn't call myself the funny guy.
The funny guy.
Yeah, I'm the funny guy. Do you want to laugh?
So, you noted, you went through a whole section about your journey there. Do you noted like a kind of area where you struggled with as well, in that bit with negative comments at that point?
Yeah, no, I think...
Did you think of stopping?
Yeah. Oh yeah, so much, yeah. Just as well because I was so small and I had like 2,000 followers at the time, people obviously just easily give you rubbish. They will give you a hassle because they're like, look at you, 2,000 for nothing. You're nothing. So it's just like you feel so powerless. Yeah. And it's just like loads of these keyboard warriors, just like giving you stuff and like retweeting. I mean, also like, I don't know, I've seen many things happen on Twitter where someone's done something and then that's gone viral and this person then just like loses their life. Not actually loses their life, but like their lifestyle is just like, they have no personal life now because everyone's out to get this person. Sure. And that was kind of scary for me because I was like, I don't want to go that far. I don't want to be hated that much. Like, also, I'm not actually doing anything to get hated. So I did like consider just quitting, but I thought maybe I should just change, just completely go for a different new path, which has actually worked out well in the end. Yeah,
definitely so. With your content, with the when you say you want to do original stuff, what kind of original things are you thinking of doing in the future?
So one thing I'm kind of starting to do right now is I'm doing an interview series in Japanese.
Okay.
So I'm interviewing, at the moment I've interviewed my American friend, and then also a friend who is third generation part British guy who lives in Tokyo.
Sure.
Which is, I haven't met someone like that before. But so like lots of different people in Japanese talking about their life and just their values and kind of just like a talk show type thing. That's one thing I want to do now because I like making long form content and talking to people and having, just like we had the conversation just now, which was rather deep.
Yeah,
rather deep. And
it was a deep and intense conversation.
I have no more energy, Stu. I like things like that and talking about experiences and how people see things and what people think about things. So that's one thing I'm trying to work on now, making kind of like a talk show type thing. I want to make that bigger in the future.
No, I think it's a good direction to go down, and I like this kind of style of content because it's very, there's nothing written down.
Yeah.
You know, it's not planned.
Exactly.
It's a bit spontaneous.
Yeah, it was very.
You know?
What do you think about riots? Who are you?
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me your values.
But obviously that's very different to what you've done. Like your content is very short, sweet, to the point, and I think obviously people, when they see your smile, that must be like a big thing. The big part of your content. But when you start doing interview content, it's not going to be just that, is it? So
yeah. That's one thing which I do find difficult, trying to mix it, especially with like the different social platforms. You have people who are following you for different reasons.
Yeah, 100%.
And even within one platform, but then when you put it on like 3, 4, how many? There's so many platforms now. Like that, it just completely changes up, and there's people think of you differently. So I have many followers who come to see my little 15-second, portrait videos of me laughing at something.
Yeah.
And then there are people who come to my YouTube channel because they want to hear me talking to other people, talking about things in Japan, or like cultural differences, or my experience as an English person, or what England is like, and things like that. So there's like so many different people. So it's really hard trying to find how to match it for everyone and how to kind of keep everyone happy.
The time it takes to make all of that.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Once it gets like into that time of talk show level, then it's a lot of effort as well.
Do you ever run out of content for like the portrait one that you just mentioned?
So much,
because there must be a limited amount.
There's only so much on the internet that you can use.
Yeah. But the good thing about Japan is they do have like a regular comedy event that happens quite regularly. So there is still fresh content coming out. But
I think as well, like when I do stuff where I use like the green screen with like just funny photos, or like funny messages and stuff like that. Recently, lots of my followers actually send them to me.
Oh, they're like, useful.
It's great, because they send it to me like, Lawson, you'd love this. You would crack up at it. You'd have a little giggle, and then they send it to me, and I'm like, well, I need to not look at it now.
I was going to ask you.
I can't see it before I react.
I wanted to ask you an inside secret, actually.
No, don't ask what you're going to ask.
You know what's coming. You know what's coming.
Ask. It's all first-time reaction, natural.
Oh, he's got me. So I was going to ask you. Obviously, you have to research for the content. Yeah. So how much of it is?
150% is natural.
150%. Even the stuff in the future, 150%.
Yeah, I haven't even seen it yet, but I don't think I will even see it.
So, but I guess that there must be times when there is some of that where you've seen it, of course, and then you think this would be a good piece of content, and then you have to replicate that first time, which is difficult, isn't it?
I feel like rather than replicating it, it's like the whole idea of presenting it is funny itself.
Oh, okay, sure.
So, and also just like kind of, when it's stuff like, I don't know, like someone's line conversation or like a funny misprint in a news article, like just reading it out just makes me laugh again anyway because it's just funny in itself.
Okay.
So it might not necessarily be the first reaction, but it's like a 1.5.
Okay. Because you have to vet it.
Yeah. Oh, there are some things people send me and I'm like, yeah, it's not funny. It's like, I look at it and I go,
and then the message is like, oh, that's great, so I'll do it sometime in the future.
Yeah, I'm just like, sorry, what part was funny?
Yeah, sure.
Could you explain the joke?
Well, then it's lost it.
Like, once I explained it,
Yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, obviously that's, it's the one thing I wondered because,
Everyone
you look so happy when you're doing
I'm very happy, I'm always happy, Stu.
Yeah, of course. It's an interesting journey. Do you feel like you're getting something back from all the work you put in? Because it is you have to put a lot of work in before you get anything, if anything, for a lot of people. Yeah,
no, for me, I definitely am getting lots out of it. Especially because personally, I really remember, so I don't remember when I wasn't that popular on Instagram, but I remember when I started YouTube like 10 years ago and I had no subscribers. I remember like going around to my friends being like, can you subscribe please? I want to get 100. And you know, it was like, I look back and it's like, you're so cute, Lawson. But I remember there's things like, because my name's like Homani Lawson, lots of people found that funny at the start because they're like, this guy pretending he's a YouTuber.
Sure.
And I kept being like, just remember, bruh. Just remember, bruh. And then I remember I was like, I was very, not confident at all, but I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try and get popular. I'm trying and make something out of this. But I remember there's lots of people who just found it funny and would kind of take the mick. Like, oh, Homani Lawson. Like kind of, you're a loser type thing. Now who's laughing, Stu?
Exactly.
No, so I remember like, you know, back when I had not even 1,000 followers. And I remember when I got 1,000 subscribers on YouTube being like,
amazing.
I think it was Christmas during COVID. So that was like what, 2020? Yeah, so it's Christmas, COVID. I couldn't go home because if I left the country, they wouldn't let me back in. Let's not bring that up. And then, cut. And I remember I got 1,000, I was like over the moon. I was like, oh, I've made it.
Yeah.
I remember being like, and then now, you know, it's going up and up and every day just getting more and more and meeting new people and getting new subscribers. It's very, very, very fulfilling, you know. Still want to get more and more and kind of improve it and go further, but I'm still getting lots out of it every day.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, there's a big world out there where you can build a niche from nothing nowadays.
Definitely.
You know, so it's yeah, anyone can do it, but it is a long process.
Definitely a long process.
Can you tell me about the first video you ever made? It doesn't matter which kind of thing, and tell me about the time it took to make it, or like how long it took you to post it, or any kind of funny stories that you remember.
I can tell you a very funny story, Stu. Just don't. I've raised the bar here. But my first YouTube video, you got to put a screenshot of it afterwards. I'll send you a screenshot because it is just funny.
Send me the link. I want to watch it now.
Don't make me private it. It was my first when I started doing my YouTube channel in Japan, and everyone was like, "You should do the channel, become a YouTuber." I was like, what, 22? I was going through a phase, so I was wearing like glasses from the 100 yen shop, which don't have lenses.
Oh, okay.
Don't get me started. And then also I had like,
it was fashionable back then to wear glasses for.
Yeah. Well, I thought so. And then also like my sideburns, I had like this kind of, you know, like the
Wolverine.
The Wolverine. No, I had it linked up there.
Oh, okay.
But it was all around here, so I look a bit like a loser. Like to sum it up.
What you're saying is they're right.
Yeah, they're right. So I remember, and then there's a video. So the video of me, and it's just also, I don't know why, but I took it in vertical. Before vertical videos were
on YouTube.
Trendsetter. I think now if you open up the video, it actually just goes full screen, so it works really well. Back in the day, it just like go really small, and have like black bars either side.
Just someone from TikTok saw that and said, I've got an idea.
Yeah, I made it happen.
You started it.
Yeah. And it's just a long video of me talking about myself. It's just so me. I'm just like, everyone, here's my favorite topic, Lawson. And it's just like me talking to the camera, being like, you know, how I started studying Japanese and where I am now. And also at the time I lived in Kansai, so I went to Kansai for 4 months for study abroad. And then my second time when I went for a year was also in Kansai. So I was back at this point in my life where I had like really kind of half Kansai Ben, half just like normal. So it was really funny because people would be like, oh, he's kind of got a cute kind of accent, or like, you know, the way he speaks is kind of half and half.
Yeah.
It looks like I was kind of like in Gifu or something. I wasn't completely in Osaka, I wasn't completely in Tokyo. It's just very funny. It's just so you look at the video and like, what is with this guy? And I also have one more funny story.
Cool.
Do you want it?
Yeah, of course.
So on my year abroad, I was living in a dormitory for exchange students. And they'd have like on each floor, they have a Japanese student, like an RA, to take care of us in case anything happens. And one of the guys said to me, he's like, do you want to appear in a commercial? Do you want to appear in a commercial, in a CM?
This has already got the punchline coming.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah. I was like, what's the role? It's like, oh, just a weird foreigner, you know. And I was like, okay, I can probably do a weird foreigner. And so I ended up taking part in this commercial where basically I was talking to this kind of famous guy who was sitting under a tree.
Okay.
He's like a radio DJ. And I had to say some like random thing where it was a play on words.
In English or Japanese?
No, it's in Japanese.
Okay.
I didn't really understand the play on words, but they were like, just say it, it'll be fine. It'll be okay. My language ability wasn't up there just yet. And then after, and that was fine. That was just a little standard part of the thing.
Yeah, it's finished.
And then they were like, we want to do one more scene.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, so what's the scene? They're like, okay, we want you to change into a suit. Also, bear in mind, it's a Japanese summer in a park, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, you want me in a black suit at this like 37 degrees, like 90% humidity, like you're trying to kill me? And they gave me glasses. I don't need glasses. And they put my hair back and everything. Now, we want you to do, like give your business card to another guy. And I was like, okay. And they're like, what's your actual name? And I was like, oh, my actual name is Lawson. They're like, well, we can't say that in a commercial because we get sued.
Oh yeah, of course. Because
not sued, but they're like, we can't use that because there's a convenience store has the exact same name. And I was like, but it's actually my name. Like, surely you'll be okay. And they were like, nah, you're gonna be John today. So there's like, it's just a video of me at the end being like, "Watashi wa John to moshimasu." Bam, and everyone's like, who the fuck is John? Like, it's really funny. And then I thought it'd finished there. I thought, okay, it seems like, and then they said to me, one more thing. I was like, okay, what's next? They're like, just do something funny.
Just do something funny. Wow,
Yeah.
That's quite a statement.
Yeah, I was like,
Ask, isn't it?
and they're like, we've got 10 minutes left on the roll. We won't put it into the commercial. Just do something funny.
Why would you need it then?
I mean, exactly. But director's giving out orders.
Sure.
So then I was like, what do you mean funny? You need to break that down for me. They're like, just go rah, or something like that. So I just went ah, and did like this really weird face. It was definitely in the commercial. Like at the end of the commercial, after I give the Meishi Kokan, it comes up with the company's name, and at the end you just see me going. Just like, what is going on? Like,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Have you ever? Because that could be a piece of content for you. Searched out the commercial and then did a reaction to it.
I did a little bit.
Oh, you've done it already?
I did it, yeah. So they took the commercial down.
Ah, on YouTube, it must be somewhere on YouTube.
No, they took it down, but then I screen recorded it. No, from my phone.
Yeah.
Before that, so like I still have it.
So,
I still have it. I'll send you it as well.
yeah, please. I want to see it.
It is. I'm very slim as well, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know, like
You were young.
15 kilograms lighter than I am now. Sexy.
So how was this video? Was it easy to understand? Tell me in the comments. And if you want to practice listening to more native English speakers, be sure to check out this playlist here. Plenty of content there for you to practice with and improve your listening skills.